Have you ever heard of Symdeko? Symdeko is a new drug that has been developed to treat a life-threatening disease called cystic fibrosis. So what is cystic fibrosis? Cystic fibrosis is an inherited disease that causes damage to the lungs, digestive system, and other organs. It occurs when there is a mutation in the gene called the cystic fibrosis transmembrane conductance regulator, or CFTR. The CFTR protein is an ion channel that moves chloride ions across the plasma membrane. One side of the cell, the ions attract out a layer of water, allowing the cilia in the lungs to move fluid mucus freely out of the airways. The most common CF mutation is the F508del, which causes the loss of phenylalanine 508 and subsequently causes a non-functional ion channel. In the mutated CFTR gene, the chloride ions are trapped within the cell so a water layer is not formed outside the cell, causing the mucus in the airway to thicken and flatten the cilia and preventing its removal. This makes it difficult to breathe and can cause bacteria and fungi to grow due to the germs getting caught in the thick mucus. Bacterial infections in the lungs can cause chronic coughing, wheezing, and inflammation, possibly resulting in permanent lung damage, including the formation of scar tissue or fibrosis and cysts in the lungs. With such an intimidating condition, how did we develop a treatment? Discovery of Symdeko arose in an effort to rescue the microprocessing of the F508del CFTR with a potentiator ivacaftor. Its discovery was launched through in vitro studies of the CFTR correctors ivacaftor and tezacaftor. In August 2017, Vertex Pharmaceuticals announced the acceptance of applications for review of the tezacaftor-ivacaftor combo treatment in CF patients by the FDA and EMA. By November, Vertex Pharmaceuticals were in Phase 3 studies, and on February 12, 2018, the FDA approved Symdeko to treat CF patients aged 12 and up. In 2019, this age was reduced to also treat patients aged 6 to 11. So how does Symdeko work? Symdeko functions by targeting CFTR using the potentiator ivacaftor and the corrector tezacaftor. As a potentiator, ivacaftor enhances membrane-bound CFTR's activity by allowing the ion channel to stay open longer and expel more chloride into the lumen. As a corrector, tezacaftor mimics the F508 residue that is missing in the mutant CFTR. Reintroducing an F508-like residue directs CFTR to exhibit normal structure and function. This is termed normal processing and allows the ion channel to form and insert into the plasma membrane without folding defects or host-mediated degradation. Tezacaftor ensures that a higher frequency of functional CFTR reaches the plasma membrane, increasing the opportunity for ion efflux, while ivacaftor likely stabilizes the ion channel to prolong its functional lifespan. What did the clinical trials tell us about Symdeko? The first clinical trial was done on cystic fibrosis patients with 2 copies of the F508del mutation. The trial was conducted in 91 sites spanning 12 different countries. There were 504 people in the clinical study ages 12 years and older. 248 individuals took Symdeko and 256 took a placebo every 12 hours for 24 weeks. The trial demonstrated that lung function was improved by 4% in those who took the drug, and the risk of having pulmonary exacerbations was lowered by 35% on average compared with those who took the placebo. The second clinical trial assessed the drug's effectiveness on those who had the F508del mutation, and a second mutation predicted to respond to tezacaftor and/or ivacaftor therapy. This trial was conducted at 81 sites in 10 different countries. 161 patients took Symdeko, 156 patients took ivacaftor, and 161 patients took the placebo. There was a 6.8% improvement in those who took Symdeko versus the placebo, and a 2.1% improvement versus ivacaftor alone. The FDA approved Symdeko for ages 12 and up based on this evidence from these clinical trials. So the results are in. Symdeko can effectively treat cystic fibrosis. However, it is not without its faults. Symdeko has some serious side effects, leaving room for improvement in the drug. First, Symdeko can cause elevated ALT/AST levels in the blood, which are enzymes found most commonly in the liver and will indicate liver damage. Secondly, Symdeko has shown to cause cataracts in pediatric patients, which is a condition where the lens of the eye becomes cloudy. Third, Symdeko can interact with many drugs, an example being moderate and strong CYP3A inhibitors like St. John's wort or phenobarbital. And such drugs cannot be co-administered. Costing $250,000 per year, Symdeko can be improved by reducing costs to increase accessibility to CF patients, mitigating drug-drug interactions, and reducing the severity of side effects. Thanks for joining us on learning about Symdeko today. See you next time.